really like. Oh my. All right. So we have those in there. And we're just going to blend this nice and smooth using the trusty Vitamix blender. May I have an ooh? Ooh. Thank you. All right, so blend this nice and smooth. All right, that's perfect. All right, so on top of that, we're going to add all of these herbs. Now again, if you don't like cilantro, you can use something else. I'm a complete cilantro fiend, so I like to use a lot of cilantro. Sometimes I just put cilantro in there, 2 heads. Herbs are incredibly nutritious, of course, and this is a pretty mild one. It goes really well. I like to rip it into a few bits, get my workout. We'll throw some arugula in there. Ooh, look at that. Oh gosh. Is it all gonna fit? I don't know. Oh gosh. Maybe I shouldn't be up. I gotta run. Okay, we'll see what happens. So, we'll get this going. We want to, this is a trick with the savory veggie stew action. You want to keep the dial at around a 4 or 5, maybe a 6 if you're getting crazy with it, right? But I'm going to put it down to about a 4.5. I'm just feeling not that confident. We're going to turn it up. And then you just push with the tamper in there. If you don't have a tamper, you can very carefully use a celery stick or something like that.
Yeah.
That works all right too. There we go. So we got all that going in there. Oh wow, we have some room. Now, an extra little trick. I put the cilantro in there first because there's all those stems, and the stems are tougher than all this other stuff. So sometimes when you're on the 4, just give it a quick, just 1 quick pulse. Oh, wait, 2, wait, 3, there we go. So 3 quick pulses and you'll probably get most of that stem action all covered. So we're gonna put some of this in here. You could of course add some spinach as well, or some wild greens, or a different herb of your choice. Really whatever greens you like. This is an easy way to get way more greens in your life without really feeling like you're a rabbit, you know? I don't mind to be a rabbit, I love rabbits, but you wanna be a rabbit?
I want to be a rabbit.
We can all be rabbits if we want, and this can still be a rabbity meal, but you don't have to be a rabbit. Rabbits are good, disclaimer. Alright, so we'll turn this up a little bit again. Get all of that in there. Boom. And of course, you can use as little or as much greens as you like. I have some friends that make their stews with very little greens. I have some friends who make their stews with mostly mango and just a little bit of green onion. Whatever you like, but it's a nice big green smoothie, right? We'll dump that over top. And we'll just leave a little bit at the end. There we go. You can pretend it looks really appetizing and go, ooh. Oh. Sometimes with mangoes, it comes out a little bit more of an orangey green, which is a little bit more appetizing. It's definitely not one of those meals that, you know, you serve and everyone's like, wow, that looks great. But when you put your mouth on it, like you deliver it with a spoon, you know, that spoon action to mouth, usually smiles result, and you're like, wow, I want more. And then the spoon goes back in and comes back, you know. Before you know it, it's all gone. So this is the basic, hygienic, savory veggie stew here. The one I make the most often. Sometimes I might chop up an avocado and the last maybe half of the meal put it in. So the beginning's a little bit more watery, and the end is like avo concentrated. You want like a piece of avo in every bite, you know. I left it a little bit of sauce here because what I like to do if I'm making it for more than just myself, I'm actually not even going to use the green onion because we have the arugula in there. I like to make a little bit of hot sauce, so I put in some hot pepper.
What do you mean when you say about hygiene?
Hygiene. Ooh, this is a bigger subject than I might have time for.
It's almost time, Chris.
It's almost time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll talk about that after, and I'm sure it'll come up a bunch more. The simplest answer around that is hygiene is the science of health. Looking at foods from perspective is this health creating or is this enervating and stimulating? And peppers and green onions and stuff could be stimulating and enervating rather than helpful in health creation. There's a bigger topic than right now. So I'll just blend this real quick. And then that right there would just be a simple hot sauce on the side, so that people who don't want it simple, they can just put a spoonful on top. So I hope you guys found this really helpful. Again, I would recommend checking out my website. I have a whole bunch of free ebooks. I have some ebooks and recipe books like 101 Frickin' Rawesome Recipes, TRA Retreat Treats, and some other fun ones by donation on my site. Half the proceeds go in towards my TRA Dream, which is a registered charity aimed to create holistic healing, permaculture, raw food education centers that run primarily off donation around the world. Hoping to see this before the end of my life, hopefully the next 5-10 years. Also my app, and the last thing I will say, it is all about the sauce. If you want to learn a ton more, you can check out my sauce book, Naturally Rawesome Sauces, which really just goes into how to make really delicious sauces. All of it on my website, Raw Advantage everywhere. Who wants to have a sample and then jump into lunch?
Yeah, lunch.
Lunch? All right. There we go.
Okay, can I just say we're going to start setting up.